everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is. Let's put some Christmassy music on in the efforts of festivities. Can you see? I got some festive. I'm in red. You can't see them. I got Christmas earrings on. I'm in the mood for festivities. It is the start of the festive season. Hello, everybody, and today is a beautiful day outside. Dog is barking, so excuse that. It's a beautiful day outside. There is no wind. The sun is shining. This house is going to get super hot, especially with me baking. But welcome to our first festive season baking, where you bake along with me today. So I have a whole series of yummy treats that I like to make. I'm going to, full disclosure, I don't eat this. I make it, I don't eat it. I do know, however, that everybody enjoys it, so I still make it. I don't particularly like fruit mince, but everything else I make, I eat. So, what's it, up until Christmas? I think the last one is Wednesday, the 22nd of December, where I will be doing a live workshop to do the sugar cookie house. But up until then, today we do fruit mince. I am not live on Friday. Next week, I'm going to do 5-cup slice, one of my absolute favorites. I will post the recipe on Friday, and then so that you can get all your ingredients. And then Friday next week, we're going to do my mom's famous butter cookies that I used to make as a kid. And what was the other? There was one or two other things that I was going to do. And now my brain is running away with me that I can't remember what my other ones were going to be. I know there's going to be a. It all depends on getting up to how many weeks and days away we are. So so next week is definitely 5-cup slice on Wednesday, butter cookies on Friday, and then the week after I think will be peanut squares and the sugar cookie house, or it might be peanut squares, something else, and then the sugar cookie house. I can't remember. I do have it in the abyss, in my schedule, so don't stress. I know I'm not remembering right now. Anyway, so I'm going to show you so this. Oh, let me just sort that out. It's doing some weird things. My camera, it is going blurry and then not blurry because it's trying to focus. Sorry, I hope you can't hear my dog. She is barking a lot. Oh, that looks way better. Okay. Okay, so if you're here in South Africa, we get this. It's a ready-made fruit mince in a bottle. And I'm going to say you can make your own fruit mince. I have done it once before. The only problem with making your own fruit mince is that you need to make it in July, because then it needs to sit and be bottled. You can't make it and then eat it. It needs to brew a bit. So I have made it before, my own one, which was quite nice. It had all the things that I like inside it. So it had cranberries and a whole lot of other things in it. But I don't make it. It is quite a mission to make your own fruit mince. But by all means, if you want to, maybe next year, in the July holidays next year, I will teach you how to make your own fruit mince in preparation to make it for Christmas. But it needs to be done ahead of time. And obviously, the chaos that is my life at the moment, I haven't had time, but I have got quite a few bottles of these. And at Christmas time, they become quite hard to get your hands on because everybody's making their own fruit mince pies. But mine is made with a little difference. So what you can do, if you are not the baker and you don't want to make your own pastry, you can go and buy your own short crust pastry and use this, and you can make fruit mince pies. I am going to teach you how to make your own short crust pastry. Now, this is such an old recipe. Look at it. I've had this for years. It's been sitting in my recipe book. And I use the same recipe every time. I think my husband will kill me when he sees this because it shouldn't be on YouTube. It looks terrible. But it is what it is, okay? My point is, it's authentic. I have it. I've had it for years. It's a tried and tested recipe that I've used for years and years and years and years. So I'm going to teach you how to make your own short crust pastry. Then we're going to put the fruit mince inside our little tins. And super, super easy. So I'm actually even going to say that we're probably not going to be on for longer than an hour and a half because it's super easy to make your own mince pies. First things first, switch on your oven, preheat it. 150. We're going to pop it in at 150 and preheat our oven. Okay. So I'm going to be using these tins because I plan to sell these mince pies on the weekend at my market. It's just an added extra that I thought would be fun because I have a whole lot of fruit mince and I'd like to get rid of it. So this is a larger pan than the usual one that you would get in the shop. So when you buy fruit mince in a pack of 6 at the shop, it's a much smaller tin. Mine is larger. I cannot get a smaller one. So mine is going to be a super delicious, extra filled fruit mince pie. But if you don't want to use these, you can by all means use a shallow cupcake pan. You do get them. It's not a normal cupcake tin. That's quite a deep one. You get one that's a shallow one. My mom had these really old, they're super old. I haven't seen them around. These like patty pan kind of looking trays, and we used to make them in them so that they were shallow. So if you're going to do it in an actual pan, you need to look at. Oh, I've realized that my desktop music's not on. There we go. Sorry, guys. Music in the background, Christmas music. You need a shallow pan, not your normal standard Christmas cupcake tin. Okay, so you'll have. I'm going to say that this is the easiest way to go. You go get yourself a couple of these. You can get them from the Crazy Store. Any of the stores generally have these little pie dishes, but look for the smaller one. This one's a little bit too big, but I'm going to still use it anyway. I've got a whole pack of them. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just going to do as many as I can to use up all the fruit mince that I've got. And then also what you can do is you get a mini cupcake pan, which is quite small little cupcakes. That one you can use. That works out perfect. I used to use that one, and they work out to be like little bite-sized mince pies. So that's what we're going to do today. Starting off, so your butter needs to have been out of the fridge. So your butter mustn't be super, super soft. It needs to have been in the fridge, and it needs to have been out the fridge for about an hour. You need it kind of hardish, okay? Because you're going to work with it, but you don't want it super soft and melting. What happens is that you want the chunks of butter in there, which will help with your short crust pastry. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to double up. So follow your recipe. Your recipe will probably make you about 12 to 24, roughly roundabout, pastry, fruit mince pies. I'm going to double up because I'm going to be making double up, maybe even triple up. Maybe I should triple up. I think I'm going to triple up. Okay, so I'm going to triple up. Yeah, I'm going to do 3 times as much so that I can make a lot of fruit mince pies. I have quite a few jars. I've got another 2 or 3 jars in the cupboard. So this makes a lot. You won't even use a quarter of this. Depending on how big your pans are, though, and how big your mince pies are going to be. So you might even only use half a jar for 24. so that you make quite a bit out of this. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start. The main thing about today is how to make your own short crust pastry, which you can use for any other sweetish dish. So like if you were making, you could do it for lemon meringue pie. You could use the short crust pastry for any of those kind of pie based kind of desserts. So like blueberry pie, you know, what else? Key lime pie. You know, if you don't want to use a tennis, like a biscuit based one, you can use this as your base. Okay, so I'm going to get a large bowl because I want to make quite a bit. Okay, so I need 200 grams of flour. So the actual recipe is 200 grams of flour. If you don't have flour and baking powder, you can use self-raising flour, but then you will eliminate the baking powder. Okay, so basically you would use 200 grams of self-raising flour, but if you don't have self-raising flour, you just do 200 grams of flour and then you add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, because you need that raising agent. What's in the box, my love?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? The deliveries that come through this house. You don't need to sift your flour. Unless it's red. Okay. So we're literally just going to measure out. I'm going to do 600 grams because I want to do three batches. Oh, and we mess along with it because that was part of it, right? So I'm using really tiny scoops. And I normally only use, I don't normally use the scoop, so. Okay. Right, so we're gonna pop that into here. Then we're going to need, and then because we're only doing because I don't have self-raising flour and I don't really need it, you can just use baking powder. So that would be 2, 4, 6 teaspoons of but obviously that's because I'm doing a triple batch. 4. So you're doing a single batch, 200 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You were saying? Not you were saying. Something. Protein powders. Then we're going to need 100 grams of margarine or butter, whichever one you want to use. You can use unsalted butter. So I'm going to need 300. You don't want it frozen, but you don't want it melt. You don't want your butter super soft. Just enough for you to be able to cut it through. Because what's going to happen is if it's too soft, you're going to end up with like oil coming out in your. If you have it frozen, you can grate it. If you have it measured, and you can grate it, which will work as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn this into a bit of a biscuit, a crumb kind of look and feel to it. And try not to use your palms of your hands, because palms of your hands are hot and that will melt your butter, and you don't want that. So just try and use the tips of your fingers. It doesn't look like that with me because my hands are small, but I am actually just using the tips of my fingers. So you're going to, so obviously if you have even if you've just taken your butter out the fridge, you can actually just measure it out, and then if you grate it through, that'll work. It doesn't need to be completely combined or whatever. Having a few chunks of, when I say a few chunks, I'm talking about small chunks of butter or margarine in amongst this will, it melts into your short crust pastry when you're baking. So I know that when you do it, when you make, I've never made filo pastry, maybe that's something I should do and try out. I've got 5 pieces of flour. So when you do filo pastry, your butter, because you need to use real butter for that, needs to be basically really hard. And then what you do is you grate it and you layer it in between your pastries, and then that's how you use it. And then there's like these chunks of butter. What is going on with the flour? Why is there these 5 pieces? Not too sure why my flour has all these really hard pieces of flour in it. Okay, so basically what you have is like a breadcrumb feel to it. Okay. And we need a pinch of salt. I'm just going to go wash my hands. So what we want to do is we want to we're going to use, with all the treats that I'm making now, I might run out of time though, so the way we're doing it might not work out. We want to do a grazing box out of all these treats in a box that looks like a Christmas tree. So yeah. Okay, then I need a pinch of salt. Because I'm tripling up here, I'm just going to put 2.5 quarter teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to use cold water. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour cold water in slowly. There is no actual amount. So there's no real amount of cold water. It's what we're going to do is we're just going to pour it until we see it combine and be the correct consistency. So we're going to turn this into it needs to be into a rollable. We need to be able to roll it roll it out dough. Okay, so we're going to pour a little bit of water at a time. I'm just going to use a spoon until it's combined. So using cold water from the fridge, not just cold water from the tap. No go. Let me switch that off. So you can see, you need to start. So I'm not going to add more water in yet. I want to see the consistency of it. You need to be able to turn it into a dough, turn it out, work it, and be able to roll it out. So you don't want it in the consistency that it's sticking to your hands. You need to be able to see this is not sticking. I'm going to probably add just a little, very little bit of water, like a smidgen, just a little bit, so that I can pick up this last bit of yeah, I'm going to turn this out. That should be enough. So that wasn't even a cup of water. It's probably a quarter cup. But again, mine's for 3 batches. So you just need to make sure that it's not dry, one, and it's not too wet. I just want to put a tea towel over that, over my laptop, so that it doesn't get full of full of flour. So you can see, you want to be able to roll it out. Oh, I forgot to go get my cutters. You need some cookie cutters. You know, you can do really whatever you want. And I've seen some people put on top as the lid a big star. I don't have a big star. I'm just going to do good old round. You know what I might do? I might just put a little Christmas tree on top as an added extra. That's what I might do, so that it looks cute and pretty and different. Okay, so you can see it's normal dough, right? It's not sticking to me or the counter. Okay. And it's nicely combined, right? I am just going to go get my cutters quickly, and I'll be back. So I think what's going to be fun is that I'm going to actually cut out a Christmas tree, which will work because, yeah, on top, just because it's fun and I can. So let me just clean up here, leave that there. And I know the school holidays have not started yet for the kids. That's why I've started with fruit mince pies, because I can't see the kids wanting to make this. But I'm sure it's, you know, like for me, I used to make it for everybody else. So that's why I used to make it. I used to make it for my dad, who loved it, and my sister and my brother. They all used to love eating all of this stuff. So I used to make it all for them and my mum. So, right. So what we're going to do, so I'm going to put each pie into one of these, and then I'm going to pop it onto a big tray and into the oven. Okay. I'm just going to flour my and I'm just going to work with a little bit at a time. I'm not going to try and roll that whole thing because that's just crazy. Okay. And a rolling pin. And we're going to roll it out nicely. So now remember, this has got a rising agent in it. You don't want it overly thick. You want it, I don't know, about, I'm going to say about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And that's what you're going to, so don't use too much flour. You don't want to make it harder and stiffer. You want to keep it nice and soft and pliable like this. Okay. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's about 2 millimeters thick. And make it nice and even all around. We don't need to grease these or anything like that. So what we're going to work out is I'm going to try and work out now what size I'm going to need. See, I think I'm probably going to have to cut that size for it to be able to fit inside there. So let's just check that. That's going to be for my base, which we're going to pop in here like this, and then we're going to push it nicely like that. Okay. With these, I'm not going to go over the edge. I don't think so. I don't think I should. I don't think I need to. And you just push it in nicely so it fits in nicely. These are definitely bigger. I think I'm going to sell them as 4s because they're so big instead of as 6s. Okay, so that's how we're going to push them in there. It might actually need to be the bigger one. Let's see. I think, okay, but we're going to keep that one because I might need to use it for the lid. Definitely bigger than the usual pin. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to use the bigger tin, yeah, and then I'll just push it over to the edge like that. That's fine. So why we'll push it over like that, so even when you're making it with if you were doing it in a cupcake, not a cupcake tin, or the mini cupcake tin, or an actual tin that you can use for mince pies, the shallow ones, you will grease your whole tin. So not just inside each little compartment, over the top as well, because you're going to push it over the edge. So that there's a reason for doing that, and you'll see now. So even on these ones, we're going to push it over the edge like this, and we tuck it in nicely like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to use the big one, and then we're going to use this one. Yeah, so we're going to use these two. Okay, so my suggestion is to always make a bottom and a top. If you want, the way my mom used to do mince pies, just to make it quick and easy, is she used to do it in a big tray, and she used to just roll out a big rectangle, put the fruit mince pie, and then put the top on, and then she'd bake it like that, and then cut it up into squares. So you can do that too, but then it's not closed. Then you've got pieces, you know, your mince fruit pies, and it's open. So I don't quite like that, so because it can become messy, and if it starts to all, like, you know, run out kind of thing. So we're going to make a couple of those. Oh, you know what? I'm going to recut this one. There's a reason I'm going to show you now why I'm going to recut it. Okay. I'm going to recut it because I want the flour that's on here, the pattern. Okay. So that when we put it on top, it's going to have a pattern on top. So Right. We're going to do the next one. So I'm just going to cut a whole bunch like this. This is definitely I wonder if I should just sell them as ones or twos, because they're super big, and yeah, people might just enjoy having them and snacking them on, snacking on them while they're walking around the market. Yeah. So you can see it, that's why you've got to be careful about the amount of flour you're using, because it doesn't necessarily recombine, and it's okay if it's like this with layered flakiness. It will be fine. Managed to find royalty-free YouTube music that I can play on my stream for Christmas, which is awesome, so that I can play music. Okay, so yeah, you don't want it to be too thick, because otherwise then you're just getting a mouthful of pie pastry, and you don't really want that. So and I did that the wrong way around. It's okay. And then I'm going to do 2 at a time, and then do the frill. You see, if you just cut the frill, then you know it's the top. I don't know how many I'm going to get out of, with them being this big. So if it was a smaller tray, I'd probably get way more out, but I'm probably not going to get as many as I thought I was going to get. But I actually just want to make as much as I can to get rid of this. So if I land up with only 24, then so be it. And then I'll just sell 24. It doesn't bother me. I'm not necessarily wanting to sell fruit mince pies this year. It's just so that I can get rid of my stock. You can use this short crust pastry as a savory pie pastry, but I'm going to say no. It's short crust pastry. It's not puff pastry. So it's definitely a different, you would use puff pastry for normal pies. This is more for treats and stuff, and dessert pies, as opposed to a savory like chicken or spinach or whatever pie. So I'm just making sure I have a top to all my bottoms. So while I'm cutting both at the same time. We just fold them in. Okay. I just want to make a few before I start filling them. And I'll just put my my lids over there. Might not cut a Christmas tree. It all depends on how much pastry I have left. And then what we're going to do is you can have an egg or egg white. I've got lots of egg white. I keep it in a bottle, so I'm going to just use that. But you can egg wash it, and if you don't want to have egg in it so that it's egg free, you can just use milk. By egg washing it, or what, putting milk on it, or helps it to get a nice crispy golden look on top. I'm actually going to sell these as singles on the day. I'm not going to sell them. Actually, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use, I wonder if I can get some paper bags. I'll ask Nadine. She can give me some paper bags. Because they are super big. Yeah. You can buy just one. I'm going to sell them singles, I think. I think for the grazing boxes, I need to get a smaller tin. If I could find one. I wasn't able to find a smaller tin. Everybody seems to be out of stock on a lot of things at the moment. Oh, I'm going to be one short. I need to put a lid. Maybe shorter lid. Let's just make sure I do the extra lid. I mean, we've got 2, 4, 6. At this rate, I'm only going to have 12 because they're so big. It is what it is. I laugh, I sell out of them, and then I need to come and make more. That would be so funny. That I'd have to make more. But it's quick and easy, and it's not a train smash if I have to come and make more. On like Friday night after the first night of market. So I'm doing a Christmas market this weekend, and it starts on Friday night from 5 until, if you live in the Cape Town area, Tableview, Sunningdale. It's it's going to be quite cool. Yeah, so Friday night is from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock on Friday night, and then all day Saturday and all day Sunday. Good God. I am taking Monday off so I can get some rest. Where are you going?
I'm going to Jessup tomorrow.
To? Oh, and then we're going to go fetch the girls.
Do you like the plastic?
No. Swimming in the plastic.
I'm going to go to Richmond. Pick up a skeleton.
A new skeleton or an old one?
That's a good one, but probably package it.
Yeah, but can't you get Skeletor in the shop? How did they get Skeletor if it's a new one? Are you paying the same amount?
It's just sending them because a lot of people will
Oh, okay. I thought They're different ones. Obviously. Which mug? There, nothing's been moved. You hiding it.
Right, I can only keep that to look at it. One guy down. Get back to second. I'll just take it out of it. Website itself owns the link with sets and stuff.
Mm.
But $50 discount.
Oh, okay.
It ends up being 3,000 rand.
Oh.
But it's got all the guidelines and it's got a whole bunch of stuff. Imagery and stuff. So when I set up the other website in it, it'll be easier to do it with all of that.
Okay.
And then we have the rights for it anyway. But yeah. Mm.
Is it me or is this place kitchen feeling hot?
Must I get it?
Okay.
Must I get that package? It's $3,000 for the year. But it does have like a lot of nice things.
Depends on how much we use it. I don't want us to waste. And if we can use it and it's going to be worthwhile.
Well, you need to put stuff together. So, I mean, it'll be more for the YouTube videos and stuff. And so you need to actually get like all the services that we need. So, I said we're going to put that together, and you have to buy 2 months normally.
Yeah.
It's $50 a month.
Well, if it's worth it,
$60,
then
so it's about $1,000 for 2 months, or it's $3,000 for a year.
oh, okay.
That means next year we have to keep doing a lot of these
Yeah.
school.
How many are we going to get? If we can, so I've already got 12. I don't think I'm going to get 24. That's for sure. Okay. So we're going to see. Goodness gracious me. Okay. So because these are quite big, I'm not actually getting as many as I want out. But it's okay. It's okay. Like I say, it's just as long as I am able to make as many as I can and then sell them. You know. So I've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Yeah, 16, and then a lid for there because I'm missing one lid. It tends to be a bit elastic, like almost like like elastic, because you push it up and then the next minute it pulls itself down. So just be aware of that. But you can just push it up. It's fine. Like that. I'm going to fix these up nicely as I go. I just want to get these in so that we can see what's potting here. And I think I need one more of these lids, but I'm going to just start doing this so that we can. You're going to need a fork. You're going to need a pastry brush. I'm going to use a small one. Then I'm going to use some egg whites. But you can just crack up an egg, beat it, and if you don't want to use, like I say, if you don't want to use if you don't want to use egg and you want it to be egg free, you can definitely just use milk. Egg will give it a much crispier golden look than milk, but it still works the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm trying to push this up as much as I can, because what's going to happen is we're going to push this in. So I'm just pushing it to the edge of my little pan. Also, you don't want these too super thick because you need them to cook right through, right? Because you don't want raw pastry. Okay, and then we're just going to spoon. And like I said, these are quite big, so normally the smaller ones you would literally only have like like a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of fruit mince in. So I don't want to pile them high either, so I'm putting in like 4 teaspoons of mince, and I'm just going to make it a little bit flat, a little bit flattish. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to just dip your pastry brush. I have just a really thick paintbrush that I use as a pastry brush, and then I just, well, obviously one that I've never used on paint or anything. And then you're going to put your lid on top, and then you're going to take your fork and you're going to squeeze your fork into to close it up like that. And that will seal your pie in. Normally I poke it because you don't want it to you don't want it to burst out, right? So that's what we're going to do. What I might end up doing is, depending on how many I get out of a jar, I might just make some extra pastry, obviously off live, just to finish. I think I have. Also, you don't want to fill it too much that you land up not being able to close up your pastry, and then it lands up spewing out as well. So yeah, just be careful. I'm actually thinking that once I put, I'm saying this, thinking this is too much. Okay. So just egg wash it on the sides. see. So we just do that, pop it, and then we do the next one. And then we're going to place all of these onto a... So I actually want to put a little Christmas tree on top. So that's the reason why I'm keeping some of the... I'm popping it, and then I'm going to cover it with the Christmas tree. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So I'm using about 3 teaspoons of mince. And you can see it's like heaped teaspoons. But I'm not piling it high. Okay. 3 to 4 teaspoons. I'm not piling it high because I don't want it bursting. That is what will happen. It will end up bursting. You want to be able to close it up properly. Unless, of course, you don't want to. I mean, what I've seen is some of these have been done instead of a full lid like this. They have a big star so that there's parts that are exposed. So you can do that as well. It's cracking open, so I'm not going to poke it. Sorry for answering the phone call. I don't normally answer phone calls on live, but my phone was ringing. I didn't want to not answer it, but I've put it on silent now. Yeah. Okay, so egg white. So what happens is the egg white actually is acting like glue to glue the 2 pieces together, and then so that it doesn't come apart. So technically I should be able to pull these out of here and not have it fall all over the place and not have the lid fall off. I can actually, no, you probably should just do this first before putting the mince in. Then your brush doesn't get full of mince. So what I was saying is that I realized that obviously here in South Africa, holidays have not quite started. Some start on Friday. The schools go on holiday from Friday. Some only go on from next week, Wednesday, and the Friday after that. So they're all on different times, but basically all going on holiday basically from Friday. Depending on what school you go to and what area you live in, depends on when you're all going on holiday. But yeah, we're gonna try. You can always, if you hopefully if you want to, you'll watch the replay of this on how to make it. I know my niece will watch it on replay because she's still at school, but she'll probably watch me live from next week because then she's on holiday. But I don't think she'd want to make these. I think she'll want to make the stuff I'm going to make next week. So it makes me really happy to know that my niece watches me live and follows me when I'm doing baking like this, because I don't get to... She lives in Joburg, I live here, so I don't get to do this with her. Otherwise, I would do this with her, you know, in person. But it's quite nice that she follows me so that she can do this with me, even if it's virtually, which is cool. So we're getting 2, 4, 6. Actually, I might just leave it at this, see how they sell, and if I land up having to make On Friday night, I make on Friday night. Okay, so I'm getting roughly 10, so out of, how much am I going to sell them for? I'm going to sell them for 15 Rand a pie, maybe less, maybe 10 Rand a pie. It's super big. Super big. Did you shower without the door?
Yeah.
No water on the floor? Alright, in the cupboard. Okay, so that's quite a bit. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these out with one bottle, and then I've got another 3, 6, 7 to go. So I think I'm going to stick to what I've made here, and then I'll see how they sell on Friday night. And if on Friday night and Saturday night I have to make more, then cool. You know, I'd rather do that than have to come home with it. So I'm doing the same. Markets or something else. I don't know. Anybody else do markets? Doing markets is stressful. Especially when you're making food, because you don't want to come home with the stock. Like, I really don't want to come home with any of the stock that I make. Honestly, don't want to come home with the stock. That's for sure. I've already got left, you know, offcuts and broken cookies and all of that, which goes into a cookie jar here, and my husband and my daughter eat it all. And obviously subsequently we'll end up putting on weight, which is obviously not ideal. This is definitely a mouthful of fruit mince compared to what you would normally get. I think this is one that you basically should share. Should share this. My extra large fruit mince pies. All good, all good, all good. Okay. We're almost there. I'm going to probably go on to one live a week, and if not one live a week, I will post a video a week or something over the festive season so that I can take a break. Very much needed break that I'm going to take. I am working all weekend this weekend, so I am taking Monday off. Definitely taking Monday off, so I can have a rest and chill. If you sell at a market, what do you sell? Let me know. What do you sell? Let me know what it looks like. Send me a picture in the comments. Would be interested to know. Do you do markets all the time? Or are you doing like me, where I'm literally only doing it like themed markets, basically? So Christmas, because it's specifically Christmas. Not everyday markets. I just can't. I don't have the time or the energy for an everyday, or a weekly market, or like a regular market. I just can't. I take my hat off to those people who do them on a regular basis. It's very time consuming, the amount of time that you spend in efforts and putting things together for markets, and super soul destroying when people don't buy. And it's understandable, because you're not everybody's cup of tea of what you're selling. So last one, and I need a lid for this one. I haven't got a lid, so I need to roll out a lid, and then while I do that, I'll quickly make some trees to go on top, just to make it look nice and festive, instead of good old, I mean, let's face it, this is not good old ordinary fruit mince pies, because they are extra large, but it's all good. It's all good. Let me just wipe up here, because I can't roll out on a messy surface. Okay. Right, so we're going to just, let me try it here. And then we're going to just roll out this last bit. If your pie pastry is feeling a little dry, you can always add just a teensy bit of cold water to it, to just, moisten it up. Because obviously every time you put flour on your surface, you add to your pastry being dry. But what you will notice, I don't know if you can see it, you see how it's flaking like this? That is the normal consistency of it. So obviously originally it wasn't like that, and as you fold it and all the rest of it, it's going to do that. But it's okay, as long as you can generally get it to be able to roll. So I need a lid, and then I might not have enough pastry for all the Christmas trees. How many do we need? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay. $16 trees. Can we get 16 trees out of here? 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sure we can get with a squeeze. I'll roll out what's left. So we'll put a tree on each one like that. like I say, you can put a star on there. You can put, you know, whatever whatever's making you feel festive. You can just leave it. You don't have to put anything on top. I just feel like it's going to look a lot more festive. We're going to stick it on with, I'm just putting them on here so that I know that each one has got, but I'm going to obviously glue it on with some egg whites. And then we're gonna egg white wash all of them. So your phyllo pastry would do the same thing, where it does this like layering thing. And you would be layering, and then what you would do is you would purposely layer it as well and put the frozen butter in there. Really, I know this. I've never made it though. I know that that's how it works. Just never made it. I should try it. I'm going to be doing some courses in the new year, just, you know, because you should always, you know, spruce up your knowledge. 2, 4, 6. Just because you should always just, you know, spruce up your knowledge. And yeah, and we'll see what I'll end up baking, and yeah, I'll do it on live so that we can see what we can do and what we'll end up doing. I wonder if we can get one more. I don't think we can get one more out of this. I have this leftover pastry. I kind of want to try and squeeze one more pie out of this, because I don't really want to chuck that away. I don't like wasting. So let's see if we can get one more pie out of it. Even if I don't have a tree on top, at least just a bottom and a lid. Possibly. I think what we're going to land up with is just a bottom and a lid. Not as big. Let's see. Honestly hate wasting, so I'd rather, you know, get something out of it as much as I can. I'm probably just going to do that. Okay, it will be one for my husband because it will be a bit of a dud one. I'm actually not sure if he eats these. I have made them before and I think he did eat them. Like I said, because you know, if it was my family, I would definitely be making this all the time. I don't make them all the time anymore because I don't eat them. Okay, so you wouldn't know any better. Just no Christmas tree on top, that's all. Okay. So, I'm going to pop these onto a tray. Big tray, small tray. Not sure. Maybe I need to put it on a big tray, I think. I'm going to put it onto a big tray so I can get them all onto one that way they're all onto one tray. They're going to cook all on the same level. My oven is doing some weird things these days and it's not cooking as even as I would like it to. So I'm worried that it might be on its way out. Oh, why is this doing that? We just put a little bit. I'm just gonna brush. Okay. Then we'll put our tree on there. Which I've now closed up the hole, so I don't actually know why I put the holes in. It shouldn't burst. Basically, like all pies, you would always put you know, some cork it like that. But I'm going to hope that it doesn't burst by closing up the holes. Okay. And then, what are we going to do? What are we going to do while we wait for these to bake? They're not going to take long. I'm probably thinking 20 minutes, if that. Maybe less. Obviously, the smaller they are, the less time they will need to bake. If you do watch this and you see this and you want to go back and actually get the recipe, just go back onto my Facebook page. I posted it on Sunday night, I think, where you can get the recipe. I will try and post the next recipe on Friday so that it's ahead of time, so that you've got the weekend to go and get the ingredients for Wednesday next week. But you can always go back if you've decided, oh no, you want to do this, you know, along with me. You can go pop over to my Facebook page, and the recipe is on my Facebook page. I'm going to say that it definitely is. I'm going to say that this is probably tastes better with having made your own pie pastry than if you but by all means you go buy a roll of short crust pastry, ready, you know, really rolled, ready to roll short crust pastry. You don't even need to roll it, actually. It's in the thing. You just roll it out and you cut and do whatever you want. So, but it's nice to be able to make your own pie pastry. And then you can just do, you know, you can use this, like I say, you can use this pie pastry recipe for any pies. I wouldn't suggest doing a savory pie with it. I have made savory pies with this recipe, and my husband was not happy because it's not sweet. There's no sugar in it, so I'm not sure. You can actually use it as a savory, but I don't know. He just doesn't like it as a savory. Right, so we've done that, and we're going to pop it in the oven. I do, however, want to take a quick photograph, so don't mind me while I quickly take a picture, you know, because I can and will. Christmas time. It's the festive season, peoples. It's the festive season. It's upon us. It's upon us. Okay, I'm gonna pop this into the oven. Right. So while we wait for that, I'm going to just time it for you so that you know how long. But I'm going to say probably between 15 and 20 minutes is probably how long it will take before you need to check them and see how it goes. You know, I'm going to miss call. Yeah, and then we'll see from there. What else? So that was almost 2 jars. So I've got a little bit left in this one jar. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to see how it sells on Friday. Yeah, and if I land up needing to make more, I shall make more. You know, I have enough to be able to make more. And like you can see, it's taken me, and I'm talking nonsense. So if I wasn't talking and I was just getting on, it probably would be much quicker. It'd probably be way quicker because I tend to, you know, work a lot faster if I'm not talking nonsense. You know, trying to entertain you all, say things to you. So, yeah. And obviously we need to cook anything. So I'm just going to, while we're waiting for them, because I would like to take them out the oven for you to see. I'm not going to leave them, you know, leave it and sign off yet. What else can I tell you? What's happening in the kitchen? Lots and lots and lots of sugar cookies. On Monday, I made around 12 to 14 kgs of sugar cookies dough. It was a lot. I have made, actually while I'm talking to you, I can actually roll and cut. I might just do that, just so that I'm busy being productive. I'm trying to be productive while I'm waiting. So, I'm trying to utilize my time as wisely as I can because I don't have enough time at the moment. I need to be done with all my stock and orders by tomorrow night, as I am not available on Friday. So everything needs to be done. So I'm trying to utilize my time wisely. So if you don't mind, I am going to cut cookies while I talk nonsense to you, while we wait for our pies. That way I'm not standing idle and I'm not wasting my time, which is really not something I want to do. Sure. Okay. But like I say, it shouldn't take too long. In fact, maybe I'm jumping the gun there. What's in there? Okay. What's in 5-cup slice? 5-cup slice, the reason why it's called 5-cup slice. So this is what we're going to make next week. So if you're watching this and you want to make 5-cup slice next week, make sure you tune in and make sure you get the ingredients. The reason why it's called 5-cup slice is because it's 5 ingredients, all 1 cup of each. So it's a cup of raisins, and you can do a mix if you want, a cup of mixed raisins and cranberries if you want. I like it with cranberries. The cranberries give it a nice sweet taste, but basically it's raisins or currants, whichever. Maybe go with currants because currants are smaller, but it's your choice. You can do it either cranberries, raisins, or currants. I would say go with cranberries or currants because raisins can be quite big. So it's a cup of that. It's a cup of coconut, so the shredded coconut. It's a cup of I like using the salted peanuts because it gives it that nice flavor, but you can use unsalted peanuts. And it's a cup of chocolate chips. And then it's a can of condensed milk. And that's all I'm going to tell you. Because then I'm going to land up telling you how to do the recipe, and then you can't watch me. Then you're not going to watch me next week. So it's just those 5 ingredients, and it's a super, super easy recipe to follow and do and bake and everything. So I think I will probably be done with that one. If I'm online for 45 minutes, I'll probably be online too long. It is super quick and super easy. These are like doing this, and all the recipes I'm doing are super easy for kids to follow and to learn to bake with. So the 5-cup slice is one of my favorites. I don't necessarily like raisins, but I do like raisins with chocolate. So, and the combination of all three is just out of this world. So, yes, it is delicious. And then we've got peanut squares. It's a Nigella Lawson recipe that I used to do, years and years ago. Basically, it's, I think you call them, some people call them peanut cups if you do them in a little cup. I've never made them in a cup. I possibly might just make them in a cup instead of as a square. Actually, I might just do that as a tiny little cup. I've got one of those 24 cupcake pans, so it's mini cupcakes, and that will be the perfect bite size. That also, it's got peanut butter in it. It's got peanut butter in it, sorry. Oh. Okay, this is going to be cooked very quickly. It's almost done. It's got peanut butter in, so obviously if you can't do peanuts, whatever, this is not a recipe. Even next week's recipe is probably not something that you can eat or make or touch. I am not sure if there's peanuts or traces of peanuts in here. You'll have to check your label. And then the butter cookies, that will take a little longer. It is a massive batch. You will be making cookies for days. If you have a machine, you can use that. My daughter doesn't like, so I roll them and fork them, and then when they're done, I drizzle them with chocolate and sprinkles. That's how my child likes them, so that's how I'm gonna make them for her for Christmas. I'm sure there was something else. I can't remember what. There was another recipe that I wanted to do. It all depended. Sorry, now I'm talking to you guys out loud. Let's look at the calendar. So today, the 1st, is mince pies. Next week will be 5-cup slice. The 10th will be that was, but I'm sure there was something else then. The 22nd is sugar cookie, is going to be the sugar cookie house. I'm going to do 5-cup slice next week. You know what? I wanted to do peanut squares. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do peanut squares. That was the thing. Okay. So actually from this, for the month of December, I'm only going to go live on every Wednesday until Christmas. And, just so that I can have some time with my child and stuff like that. So I won't be going live on the Fridays. So it's just on the Wednesdays. So next week is 5-cup slice. The week after will be the my butter cookies. And the week after that will be to make, I'll teach you how to build my, I will show you. If you are keen, so you can get yourself one of these DIY kits, and I will teach you how to build your own sugar cookie house. This is this year's one. I've added a few extra ones. This one is going up as a competition on the weekend, which is pretty cool, and then they can win it. So I've already done it for them that they can win it like that. But on the 22nd of December, please make sure you come in at 9:30, and I will show you how to build this with me. So if you've bought my kit, please make sure that you are definitely watching. Let me check my, I think they might be ready, or almost. Almost ready, almost. Sure. They are giant. Oh my god, so funny. They're so big. They're so big. I am going to sell them as individuals and not as sixes. I need to get some brown paper bags. I need to find out if I can get brown paper bags so that people can, or what's it, those pie paper bags that you, when you buy a pie, just get a whole lot of those and people can buy them on their own as is on the weekend. I think that's going to be probably the best bet and the best solution. So funny. What is going on? Everybody's sending me 101 messages. Not sure why. Who got a birthday voucher? Birthday voucher. Now you send me a birthday voucher? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, sweet. Oh, dude. What's the voucher? How much is the voucher? I've just ordered from these people. I'm waiting for my order to arrive. My poor dog has been eating nothing but rice and chunks of meat and bones. I mean, it's great, but it's not very good for him. But I'm waiting for her food to arrive. Oh my goodness gracious me. When I'm done, I have orders to do, so I'm going to be doing my orders now. How long have we been on live for today? An hour and a half. Okay, so we're almost done. I'm just actually wanting them to get a little bit more browned. They're not. Again, so looking at my pastry and how much it's risen, I'm going to say to you, make sure that when you roll out your pastry, it's about 2 millimeters thick. You don't want it thicker because it's going to be a mouthful of pastry and no fruit mince. And I think the whole idea is obviously you want to eat pie and fruit mince, not just pie. Or unless you like my child who just likes pie. She doesn't like the, she likes the pastry and not the inside. So they are literally almost done. So if you can hang in there for a couple of more minutes and you don't mind me talking the biggest load of nonsense to you for a couple of minutes while we wait for it. I need them to get nice and brownish. They're not quite brownish. Otherwise they look very insipid and yeah, they don't look very appetizing if there's no brown to it. So what's today? Today is the 1st of December, right? That means it's the start to the countdown to Christmas. So if you go according to an advent calendar, today would be the start. So if you're going to start doing a countdown of some sort, be it a calendar or like I do a advent swap. So basically we all make 25 little gifts and then of the same gift, each of us, and then there's 25 people, and then we get together and we swap gifts so that we all land up with 25 different gifts, and each one is numbered, and each day we open up a gift up until Christmas, which is super fun. I love it. Been doing it since I lived in Cape Town, and really is a lot of fun. And good God, when I think about it, I've been in Cape Town 7 years, so I've been doing it for 7 years. It's been so much fun. But you do it, you get everything ready before the 1st, so that on the 1st you can start these things. And now I'm getting asked. So funny. It's the 1st. You're late. The horse is out the gate already. Come on. Oh, come pies, come pies, come pies, come on. problem with my oven, and I think at some point we might need to, probably in the next 2 years, I'm probably going to have to replace my oven, which, oh, I don't know what my husband will do. Because what's happening is that on the edges of my oven, so if anything is sitting on the edge, on the outskirts of the oven, it's getting browned before whatever's in the center of the oven. So now I have all the pies on the tray, right? And all the pies that are on the edge are getting browned before the pies that are in the center. If it's on the top shelf, it's getting cooked way quicker than if it's at the bottom. I'm working around it. I work around it. And also, I don't go according to time. So we're already sitting on 20 minutes. So, like I said, it was anything between 15 and 20 minutes. I don't really go according to time. I go according to smell, and I'm constantly checking and watching. So, yeah, I don't go, 20 minutes must be cooked, because sometimes it doesn't work that way, because your oven might be hotter than my oven, or not as hot as my oven, or in brand new, so it works perfectly. The time, you need to keep an eye. Don't go according to time. Don't go according to time is what I'm going to say. No, come on. I'm going to push those out to the edges. Oh, the pies. They really are almost ready, and now so funny. I laugh. I love that if you're watching me, you watch me to the end. I love it. Because sometimes this happens. I'm sitting here talking the biggest blood and nuts, just waiting for that last bit, because I need to show you what your finishing touch is when your pie comes out. Almost there. Promise, it's almost there. I made fudge yesterday. Probably the best batch I have made so far. Super happy with it. Okay. So, here we go. Oh, and the lighting is not allowing you to see. So after all of that, the lighting is not, I don't know if you can see. I'm going to just switch off my light. Did that help? Not really. Here we go. The pies. Oh, the pies look delicious and browned. Okay, so you can see they did rise a bit, and like this one's come out beautiful, nice and golden. So same with that. So some of them have come out nice and golden. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the ones that are golden out, because I really do want them golden. I don't want them not. So the ones that have gone golden, if I leave them in the oven too long, they're gonna land up and burning. So I don't really want to obviously burn it. I'm just gonna, because it apparently works from the outside in, I'm just gonna push those aside like that and pop them back in the oven so that they get browned as I need them to. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these, and then you can see what happens. So basically, you're going to, oh, there we go. See now, look how pretty that looks. I can just move that this way. There we go. Nice and delicious. So I'm going to turn them around. Let's turn them around so that you can see the Christmas tree on that side. And then we're gonna, oh wait, there's one. I'm gonna take that one out. Okay. So there we go. So what we're gonna do now is you're going to take some, so I know that sometimes I've seen some of the mince pies like this have got sugar on top, so it's quite crystally or whatever, but you can also do icing sugar. So you just use your sift and just lightly shake and dust some icing sugar. So now the thing is, you're going to do this now while it's still hot because it's going to soak into it. More than likely what's going to happen is that when it's cooled down, some of this icing sugar will have disappeared because of the heat. It would have, you know, soaked in. So once it's cool, if you feel like it, you can go put more on top. But I shall see. And that is it. That is our beautiful, they're looking actually lovely. I love it. They look fantastic. Look at that. So I'll see how they look once they've cooled down and see how much of the icing has disappeared in it, because it also just gives it a nice effect and stuff. Anyway, guys, that is me now done. Me done for today. I will catch you next week, Wednesday, for 5-cup slice. And I'm going to do that one because it's super quick and my daughter finishes school early. So I'm going to do that one. Yeah, I'm going to do that one because it's super quick and easy. And then I'll do the cookies with her the week after. Have a fantastic weekend. Catch my video on Friday. You'll enjoy it if you've been following me with my my one wedding cake that I did in October. This is the finishing of it, which will be going up on Friday. Anyway, guys, have a fabulous weekend. Don't overindulge. Christmas calories don't count apparently, so try and have a little bit of willpower. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic time, fantastic day. See you next week, Wednesday. Bye.